station, Voice of the People, Abuja. You can join us on YouTube. Of course, you can join the conversation at any point in time through the number 0808 312 8618. Meanwhile, the president is off to Equatorial Guinea on an official visit. He will depart today, Abuja, for Malabo, Equatorial Guinea, on a 3-day official visit to honor the invitation of the president Teodoro Obiang Nguema Mbasogo. During Gelale, the SA to the president on media and publicity announced this in a statement on Tuesday. According to that statement, the president will meet with the Equatorial Guinean president at the presidential villa on arrival, where meetings will be held between the two leaders and agreements, particularly on oil and gas and security, will be signed. Well, the president will be accompanied by Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Taga, and other members of his cabinet who will be involved in the signing of agreements and review of opportunities to improve bilateral relations. We'll soon see that list and know some of these individuals who are crucial to the signing of these deals. Well, we'll check that out in just a moment. Meanwhile, the federal government has blocked 83 billion naira protest funds and arrested political collaborators. The federal government has traced at least 83 billion naira in cryptocurrency and fiat money channeled towards the recent nationwide protests. And they include the sum of $50 million worth of cryptocurrency, $38 million of which were blocked in 4 cryptocurrency wallets, and 4 billion naira contributed by various political actors in Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, and Katsina. This was part of a presentation by the NSA, Nuhu Ribadu, at an inaugural meeting of the Council of State convened by the President Bola Tinubu at Aso Villa. Meanwhile, talking about that particular meeting, Buhari, Jonathan were present as the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu chaired the Council of State meeting, and we know that the National Council of State is a constitutional organ of the Nigerian government that advises the executive on policy making, among other functions, right? So the president presided over the meeting of the National Council of State, the meeting which is was being held at the council chamber of the State House, Abuja, had in attendance President Goodluck Jonathan and President Muhammadu Buhari, former heads of state like General Yakubu Gowon and Abdusalami Abubakar were joining virtually. Some who were also present at the meeting was the President of State, Godswill Akpabio, and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, and the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Bajabiamila. We have a couple of others that were in that meeting, but we'll be having Rufai's conversation this morning. Good morning and welcome.
Morning, yes, bless you.
All right, Mr. Rufai, the president isn't in the country or will not be in the country before the end of the day. He's off to Equatorial Guinea on an official visit. What's your take on this, given the situation of the country at this moment?
I mean, yeah, to go for his visit, as long as they keep on working at ensuring that the country gets a lot better. The economic parameters are still down. Security parameters are not looking any better, He had a Council of State meeting yesterday, and they passed a vote of confidence on him. And one is asking, vote of confidence, is it because he's fared so well in the economy? All I see is a lot of hunger in the land. I mean, so what was the vote of confidence for? Somebody, he keeps claiming that the January protest, the protest in the August protest was because they wanted to take power from him, which it's a departure from the reality of the hunger in the land, which they are not addressing. So, there are lots of things that are down. So when you look at it, there are probably reasons why people are just looking at their fingers crossed and their mouths are ajar at the level of what is going on in the country. But we can only be hopeful. If he goes to Equatorial Guinea, he should enjoy his day trip.
All right. You mentioned the Council of State meeting. I mean, very glaringly, who was absent at that meeting was former President Olusegun Obasanjo. I mean, it's been in the news that there's been no love lost between these two. But what's your take on his absence, considering the fact that he's been quite vocal about what's going on in the country at this point in time? I mean, shouldn't his voice be heard also at that meeting?
You said citizens want to be heard at the Council of State.
No, I was talking about Obasanjo, the fact that he was glaringly absent at that meeting, and considering the fact that he's been talking about the state of the economy, shouldn't he have been present at that meeting?
Obasanjo doesn't need to be there. Obasanjo has told the world what he will have said in the Council of State meeting. That's just it. And that's why I'm shocked that the vote of confidence passed that President Tinubu in the Council of State meeting. So, I mean, what was that for? We all know things are not working. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. So I'm probably sure that's why he never went there. So vote of confidence on what? I mean, they said the ministers made presentation. They said inflation is coming down, which I don't see it coming down. We keep living life based on forecasts, astronomically high. The parameters are not any good. Standard of living is not any better. So if you call a bunch of former leaders and they're patting you on the back because they don't want to hurt your ego, they're not telling ourselves the truth.
Well,
So why we don't need to be there?
Wale Edun has come out to talk about the fact that he's looked at the data and they reported on the evidence and the data of this half year for which the data is available, and the economy is growing. That's what he said. So, is this another statement once again, or another headline by the minister?
Really, yeah. The economy is growing, but we're seeing a lot of job losses. Sorry about that, Jesse. Please get some water. Hydrate, please. The economy is growing, but we're seeing a lot of losses. The economy is growing, but multinationals are leaving. The economy is growing. They say the naira is stabilizing, but they promised us that the fair value of naira will be about 700 naira. Today we've devalued the naira by over 100%. Most companies are making losses. The economy is growing. Even the money from the devaluation of the currency that some banks made, now they want to collect that over 70% of that in taxes now. So, I mean, I don't know what Wale Edun is saying. I don't know what Wale Edun is saying.
I mean, Mr. Rufai, some people have talked about the fact that when you get to the markets, things have calmed down a little bit. I'm looking at in terms of everyday things that affect Nigerians. However, in Abuja, I know that the fail queues are still very, very much in full swing. I don't know about
So,
Lagos.
has rice come down?
Well, the conversation has been around tomatoes and pepper, and it is said to have calmed down a little bit.
Because why? Because those are seasonal. During the rainy season, you hardly get tomatoes. It's seasonal. The most important question is how can we make tomato all year round by storage? All right? Secondly, they say yams are coming down. So apart from that, as other stable, as the price of beans come down,
All right. Mr. Rufai, moving on from that, we know that you had touched upon the protest, and I just wanted to give you this figure. The federal government traced at least 83 billion naira in cryptocurrency and fiat money channeled towards the recent nationwide protest. There was a $50 million worth of cryptocurrency, out of which 38 million naira out of that were blocked in four cryptocurrency wallets, and then 4 billion naira out of that was contributed by various political actors in Abuja, Kano, Kaduna, and
wait a minute.
Katsina.
You know, we know this game when it plays out so well. Wait till when those people that they block their account go to courts. You know that during NSAS, that was how they blocked people account. That when they went to court, they found the government wanting that you had no right to do that you encroached on people's money. You just targeted them, and they had no relations with the protest. So let's hear the other side. This is the government that when you have a government that you can't see trust with, it's always a problem. So all of this is just to be able to show off. This was the same government, yes, through the police, that was telling you that they saw terrorists at NLC building. That's why they went there after over close to a week. So to me, I just think that narratives to be able to justify the loss. I mean, they should prove it now. They should prove it. Let the other people to have their day in court. We see this garbage. Didn't they maybe block accounts during NSAS? Didn't they reverse most of those blockage of the accounts? So,
all right, we'll watch and see how that plays out. If they
we'll be
eventually,
waiting.
yes, take it to court, we'll watch and see.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
let them go to court over the matter.
Meanwhile, we have 109 senators earning 1.4 billion naira annually. I mean, Mr. Rufai, there's been this back and forth about how much the senators earn and how much, if they are the ones that fix some of these allowances that they are said to have. The Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission has said that each of the 109 senators in the upper chamber and the federal government makes a total expenditure of 1.4 billion naira annually for all senators. Mr. Rufai, do you agree with these
1.4 billion
figures?
naira annually. No, I think that I think some the facts are not adding up. Sheikh Oseni was the one that officially stated how much you were earning in a month with all the salaries and the allowances at the emoluments. It was Sheikh Oseni that first stated it. In fact, it was vilified. So is it that the number has come down? I doubt. It's not adding up. It's not adding up. They are not stating what is actually going on. And I think they should be able to state it to the interest of Nigerians.
Well, they also talked about the fact that RMAFC, that's the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, cannot enforce some of these figures on the senators. This is what has been said. They cannot enforce these figures, ensuring that each lorry and allowances, the RMF.
And that means they are getting more. That's what they are telling you. They are getting more. If Ramfat is saying that they're supposed to be getting 1.6, but the senators are getting more than 1.6 every month. You think people will spend close to $1 billion on elections to go and be getting 1 million naira every month in the Senate? I mean, come on there, stop lying to ourselves there. They're getting way more now. You know how much they used to run? They used close to $1 billion or more to run for.
I want to pick your brains on something now. The federal government talked about those seeking regime change to wait till the next elections, and you did talk about the fact that the president.
I think that's a narrative of the government, which is also a delusional response to the suffering of people. And enough of this talk about regime change. Enough of it. Nobody seeking regime change. All we want is to fix the country, fix the malaise in the country as we speak. They've been touting this seeking regime change. Everybody, any government is so quick. When people say they want to talk, was Jonathan shouting that they were seeking regime change when they were protesting in 2012? I just saying fix the country. So, you wanted the Obasanjo to go to the Council of State meeting where they are hungry. Fix the economy. And we are seeing you living big fat lives. You're enjoying yourself. You're getting millions of naira in car subsidies and things like that. Enough of this talk of those seeking regime. Nobody is seeking regime change. What we are saying is fix.
The want for a regime change in itself, right? Just wanting a regime change at this point, is it treasonous?
What we are saying is fix.
The want for a regime change in itself, right? Just wanting a regime change at this point, is it treasonous? Constitutionally.
This is my belief in accordance to the Constitution. You go to an elections every 4 years. It is through elections you can change government. But in the midst of that, when the government is not doing well, you have a right to be able to exercise your votes. I mean, every 4 years. Or you also have a right to be able to go on the streets and protest. That's also written in the Constitution. The other worst case scenario that the government is changed is a case where the lawmakers push for an impeachment, which I never will see happen in this government because all the lawmakers are rubber stamps. Stop deceiving yourself. In fact, the last time we had a whisker of it was during the time of Olusegun Obasanjo when Senator. So, truth has to be said. Nobody is seeking for a regime change. But it's also like a counter narrative they always put forward to be able to have a swooping clamp down on their enemies.
Intent is different from the act in itself, and they have quite different outcomes or judgments from the judge, right? So in this case, somebody just merely wanting a regime change as intent, is there anything wrong in that?
The protesters were not saying a regime change. Why are you falling for a government narrative? The protesters were saying, fix the hunger. Tell that Tinubu, we are suffering. That's what the protesters were saying. Why are we parroting an agenda and a propaganda of the government? This was the same government that went out on a bribing spree of every Tom, Dick, and Harry for this protest not to hold. Don't collect money. You say go collect your own. So what are you saying, Gessie? You think I just talk? I don't know what I'm saying. Linda Sari Dokubo tell you live on TV that they say I don't collect money from government. You say go collect your own. I'm not in support of the process. I ask you, Gessie. So Sari Dokubo confirmed it now. So if the government went on a bribing spree all for the president, they even held rallies here and there, and it must be a clear level of delusion for you to think that there was not a lot of push for money for people not to protest.
I mean, we did hear that money's moved.
That all of a sudden, 3 days to the protest, the Niger Delta people held a big rally where the Senate president was there, and that was where I started confirmed that they said, don't give me money. If you don't agree, you go collect your own.
Mr. Rufai, still, all these are speculations. We didn't see money move. We didn't see, like...
But Asari confirmed it now. You can call it anecdote, but I'm reporting to you what Asari said. Didn't Asari release that video? Didn't he say it live? Didn't he say it live?
He did.
Sikina. So this narrative of regime change is a very heinous narrative. Nobody is seeking regime change. What everybody is seeking is fix the state of the economy. Take a haircut yourself. Your ministers, you have a bloated cabinet. Fix that. Fix the National Assembly. These guys can't be telling us to hold our belt and hold our stomach, but they are living large. So this their regime change is their own propaganda.
All right. You can call the phone lines 0808.
I don't just talk. I'm a man that thinks of everything I say dearly before I speak. So.
All right. 0808 312 8618 0808 312 8618 is the number to call to be a part of our conversation this morning. Mr. Rufai, before I let you go, the president has talked about he has assented to a bill raising the judicial officials their salaries by 300%.
I mean, I'm happy about that because we've always advocated that the judicial salaries were very low. I'm happy about that. But I just also hope that it's going to also spur the judiciary to stand on the part of justice. That's a welcome one. Anyway, he's always said he was going to do that. I got to go, guys. Bless you.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day. All right. To you listening, 0808 312 8618 is the number to call to be a part of our conversation this morning. 0808 312 8618. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Good morning.
Yeah, morning. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you so much. What's your name?
Yeah, Mr. Sylvester on the line.
All right, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me quickly contribute to what the last this thing you discussed with Mr. Rufai before he left, where he was telling you about what happened in the Niger Delta and what Asari said, and your remarks to him, whether he saw money move. I was like, this our sister is like, she's not a Nigerian, no, because if you see people like that who ordinarily should stand on the side of the people like Asari Dokubo, and you see them coming out to make some comments towards the protest, that should tell you that some waters have gone under the pipes. And for him to muster the courage to come out to say, they say I don't collect money, you self go collect your. It's enough evidence for you to know. And you were like, maybe you are from US or Canada where things work normal. That you were saying, did you see money move? I was like, this is my sister. Maybe
Mr. Sylvester, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
So when you take this particular case to court, right, and you tell a
Yes.
judge this, can it be
Yes.
proven beyond reasonable doubt? Can
That
it be proven?
That statement alone. See, guess it, for me to give you money, I mustn't transfer money to you. If I give you physical cash, you can't trace it. And you know, in Nigeria, money that is being given under this circumstance is not transferred. So it's always given either through a proxy or something.
Sylvester, I'm aware of all that. But when you take this to court, right? When you take this case to court, the court will always tell you, where is your proof where the money moved, whatever it is.
No. See, there's what they call vicarious liability. Vicarious liability is something that is implied. It may not really be written down, but it's implied. So if I come out now and say, Gessie is my wife, for instance, if tomorrow something now happens, people will not be like, but you said this. And if somebody can prove it that I said so, then I'm liable to that statement that I made. So if somebody of the magnitude of Asari can come out and say that, he's not a child, he's not an infant. He's not a lunatic. He's not somebody that has a mental disorder. No. So that statement alone, if I go to court, that video alone is, and I said this video is in public space. He said it on national TV. I'm sorry, not on national TV. He released a video saying that. That alone is an evidence. It's enough 110% evidence. So leave those people. They just did this nonsense they did to destabilize the protest and all that. But finally, they succeeded. It's fine. We'll give glory to God. We'll fight another day. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sylvester. Have a good day. All right. 0808-312-8618. I just had an interesting conversation with Sylvester as regards this particular conversation that we're having this morning. 0808-312-8618. Meanwhile, we'll be talking about something really interesting with Mr. Larry in just a bit. There's been a series of scamming in the country, and it's becoming quite problematic, especially to the government. There's been so much done as regards that. In Delta State, there was something done as regards scamming, and we'll be discussing it in just a moment. You want to stick around for that conversation. Men in Delta State. Okay, I'll be giving you more details. Men of the Delta State Police Command have arrested suspects who scammed an unsuspecting victim of 1.5 million naira. I mean, this isn't a lot, but it's just juxtaposing the idea of these scammers having increased in numbers. The number of scams having increased in the number. I'm sure you've experienced some situation where someone calls you up and tells you, oh, tell me the code on your phone. You've experienced so many different situations like that. Some people send you messages saying certain amount of funds have been released by the federal government. Call Mr. Mike for your money. I'm sure you've experienced something like that. So we'll be discussing that with Mr. Larry in just a bit. Make sure you stick around for that. I've got to pay some bills, and when I come back, it'll be time for the arena. Good morning.